All right, all right. Happy Friday, guys. What's going on? We are going live. You guys know how we do every Friday. If you're catching a replay, do me a quick favor. Write in the words in the comments, write the word replay so I know that my videos are reaching everybody. I'm super pumped and excited. I got a special guest that I'm bringing on board this Friday, and we are going to go over some foreclosure hacks. All right. These are the secrets that the people and the government do not want you to know about. We're going to go over how you can create multiple streams of income working with foreclosures, pre foreclosures, everything real estate. Even if you're doing tax overages and tax surplus, you are in the business of real estate. Whether if you like to believe it or not, you truly are because you're dealing with homes and you're making income dealing with these types of homes. But I want to open your minds and help you explore different ways to create revenue because I've always believed as an entrepreneur or as a business owner for over 20 years, if you're relying on one source of income coming into your household, then you are doomed for a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of unnecessary pressure that you don't have to bring onto yourself. Okay. I remember when I opened up my gym, I had a gym that I used to own, and we relied solely on gym memberships. And it was great when everyone was in that whole new year, new me mindset, and we were making all kinds of money when people buy memberships. But then you guys know it's seasonal. So there's times where we had those dips in income. And when those dips came around and people weren't signing up, usually around like June, July, people stopped forgetting about all those resolutions they came up with. We were running out of cash fast. And then especially come, October time frame all the way through November, December, when those months came around, it was the worst. We were tightening up our belts, because we were getting prepared for the low income seasons. And we went through that every single year. And there really wasn't much we can do about it until I decided I need to create a new stream of income. I didn't want to get out of the gym business. I didn't want to have a side hustle. I didn't want to get a part-time job. So what was my solution was how can I create more income with the particular industry that I'm in? So that's what I came up with the whole, income streams when it comes to foreclosures, because you can most definitely have 3, 4, 5 different incomes coming in. And this is what I want to break down for you guys. So what I need you guys to do is get some paper, get some pen, be ready to take some notes. This individual, my special guest speaker, she is big into the real estate world. She averages buying a brand new home every single month. Brand new home every single month. She is a single mother. Okay. And she is killing the game. So I'm super pumped and excited to tell you guys, go over some of the secrets on how you guys can start getting homes now. I don't care what your credit looks like. I don't care what you got in your bank account, because if you guys follow me and you guys been watching my videos, I tell you where to get money. I share with you where to get the funding. So that shouldn't be a problem. And if you don't know still to this point, you haven't been following me long enough. But now I want to share with you guys how to create new sources of income working with foreclosures. All right. So if you guys are ready, type in the number 1 for me. Type in number 1. I want to make sure I'm going to do a mic check. Can you guys hear me? Mic check, mic check. I see people are commenting. Great. Someone said new to the program and you love my positive. Thank you. Thank you. I love it. I love it. Well, I appreciate you just being in the program. It's awesome. And I get juiced. I get juiced every time I learn something and I get better. I try to make the people who are with me in my circle, my network, I try to help everyone get better because I think that's how we all grow. So without further ado, you guys, let me go ahead and introduce my good friend, Elizabeth. There she
Hello,
is. What's up?
everybody. How are
What's
y'all?
up? What's up? Happy Friday. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. See, I'm wearing my green.
I, I'm like the worst Irish guy. My father's Irish. I'm like the worst. I always forget, and this is like his holiday, right? He gets excited and juiced about it. He wants his cards, he wants acknowledgement, and I always forget. And I'm never wearing green. I'm like the worst Irish guy ever. But
I
so
should be getting pinched today.
I know, for real. And my son, he's 4, and my son's like, he's all geeked up about St. Patrick's Day, and he had to remind me. I'm like, oh crap, yeah, let me go talk to your grandpa and tell him St. Patrick's Day. Um, so, anyways, today I just gave a quick little introduction, but if you want to share a little bit about yourself before we get into these hacks and secrets for everybody, because Fridays we get deep into the weeds. We start talking about some real good strategic moves. And I know you're going to blow everybody's minds, but do you want to tell me a little bit about your background, like how you got into real estate and what you enjoy about it?
All right. So I'm a Army officer. I've been in the military for 22 years, and because I was getting close to my retirement, I was like, let me go see what else I can do to bring me some passive income, because I didn't want to be working for the rest of my life. So I started, looking into investing properties, and then I was looking at videos, and I was trying to learn. I was paying for some classes and stuff, and then I was able to, I think, get enough gain experience to figure out what I needed to do to be able to get experience to start purchasing properties. So then I went and I was putting signs everywhere to do rental properties. I was like, hey, I buy houses, distressed homes, okay. And then all of a sudden I started getting people calling me saying like, hey, I have this property that I can't make the payments. Do you want to come and look at it? Or I have this distressed home that I don't want it anymore. So when I was looking at those properties, man, I was buying homes for $5,000, $10,000, $8,000, and then I bought some properties that I needed to do fix and flips. I just sold two of them of my fix and flips, made a great benefit from it. And then now I'm looking into, I have two other units right now that are being renovated. One of them should be done at the end of this month and the other one next month. And that's not going to keep them as rentals. And then, right now I just put another offer and I'm about to close on that one. So I'm just gaining properties left and right. And I just feel like this is, a great way to get that passive income. And I use, for example, investors to be able to fund the deals, and then I give them a great money on return plus their income, whatever they put in for investing into the property. So now I even have other investors, calling me now and be like, hey, I want to invest too. So I have so many a lot of properties now that I'm looking people to invest in to be able to help them out as well and get that passive income. But it's great. I love it. I really, really love it.
Nice,
And
nice. That's awesome. So let me ask you something, because I know this is like the question everyone's they're thinking about is, how do I find an off-market home? And in the course, a lot of times I'll talk about, going to the specific websites like foreclosure.com, bid for assets, auction.com. But I know you take a slightly different approach. I know like of those sites, but how else are you finding off-market homes that you're finding for like half the value? Like, it's crazy. It's like pennies on a dollar where you're finding these homes. So how do you do it?
I built a team. So what I did was I contacted title companies. I contact realtors, and I asked them like, hey, send me expired listings. Title companies, hey, send me properties that people can't close in, that buyers are tired of the properties. I call the electric company, water company. I'm like, hey, anybody that has the water shut off, if you can send me the listings.
Oh, wow.
I go to the city hall and I ask them like, hey, people that I haven't paid taxes in years, can I get those listings? And just building that relationship with all those companies, I am able to get a lot of the listings. I put signs on the streets, on social media. Now I get people calling me like, hey, you bought my friend's property before. I have this other property, and then when I do the renovations on my properties now, I have signs that I put outside of my properties to let them know who is the one who's renovating the property. And
Yeah.
then neighbors will come and talk to me, and they'll be like, hey, I have this other property that I'm trying to renovate. So it's just
So
building.
you're literally building relationships with other people, and
Yeah,
basically having it to where they contact you
yes,
if they find anything or hearing of anything. Like,
that's
so you
correct.
actually find out if people gets their utility shut off.
Yes.
How do you? That's interesting. Okay, so do you call the water company, or how do you figure that
So
out?
I went to the water company and I started like communicating with them. I was like, I know you have people that haven't paid the water in months, so they're still living on the property. They have a deal, but their water's just shut off. I would like to be able to help them. They can't provide me the name of the person. They just can provide me the addresses. So
Wow.
I do a backlisting and I get the addresses. So sometimes I go knocking at the doors and I'll be like, hey, my name is so and so. I'm buying properties in the neighborhood. I was interested. I don't point it out and be like, hey, I know your water shut off. Let me buy your property.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just communicate with them. Sometimes I give like little gift baskets to them, like just like
Wow.
little chips, and just so they'll remember me. I don't want to just
Yeah,
be knocking on the door empty-handed, but like, here's my business card. I want to buy your house. I
yeah,
give them like a little gift basket, something to remember me and build
yeah,
that relationship with their people, and just
yeah.
listening to what they have to say and the problems that they're going through, and I try to give them a solution to their problem.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because I think that's something that in the Unclaimed Funds Academy. One thing I teach everybody is you have to be able to stand out amongst the pack, because if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're not going to gain anyone's business, right? And in this particular case, you're not going to get someone to want to sell you their home if you're just another random person door knocking. You're talking about like leaving an impression and bringing gift baskets and different things. And I know some people watching are probably like, okay, I don't have the funds to get a gift basket. But you guys gotta understand, like anything worth doing, anything worth having, you need to make sure you get financed, right? You got to get some funds. You got to have some type of budget to do what you do. But the difference of bringing something that is actually like, hey, that was really thoughtful of you to do something like that. I would rather do business with you, even if you're offering a lower price, just because you're a thoughtful, nice person, rather than just some random person calling me on the phone trying to buy my house, and that's how usually what I do is, and I teach this in the academy, when I call people, and I'm sending them cards, I'm not just sending them some random professional, like, templated, letter. I'm actually sending them greeting cards. I'm giving them that little handwritten, like quick note or whatever, letting them know like, hey, look, this is what I do. And this is a situation. I'd like to help you out with your situation. And I send it to them. I get way more responses doing something like that versus just cold calling and praying that someone answers the phone. Like you got to sometimes get out of your comfort zone and just do that little bit extra that other
Yep.
people aren't willing to do. And then you're going to be like Elizabeth. You're going to be closing on homes every single month. It seems. It's. I love your approach to it. I love that you just think outside the box and creating a relationship with the water company, and then just doing like what I call skip tracing. Right? You're finding out who lived in that home, and then you make your contacts from there. I think that's genius.
You can even go to like companies, for example, like if you see a electrical company truck and you be like, hey, you can approach the guy and be like, hey, I know you're working on this, and you have people that are shutting off the electricity. They can, I want to give you my business card. If you can contact me, I appreciate it. And for a referral that you give me for people that have electricity shut off, I would like to help them out. So for a referral that you give me, I can give you, they get certificate $100 or something, and you just start building that relationship. So that guy is gonna remember you every single time that he's sending somebody's water off. They're gonna be calling you and be like, hey, this person's water shut off. They might need the help, and then I come to a solution. So I'm like, okay, I look at the property. I'm like, it's a 3-bedroom, 2 baths, and they're paying this much money. So then I also look at other properties that are cheaper in the area. I'm gonna be like, hey, you know what? How about I buy this property for you, and then we can try and see if we can get you into this other property with a lot cheaper, or I can see if I have any other rentals that are a lot cheaper for them. And just I try to find them a solution. I just don't be like, let me give you the money and buy, get out of the property. So I try to help them out and just, look at what I can do to help them out. Hey, I can get somebody to come in here and help you move, or, just, you know, make them the process easier for them and be able to be like, I like her. I like what she's working for. And like I said, people's referring me because of me helping them
Yeah.
out as much as I have.
Yeah. Here's gonna be a question. I know it's gonna be a lot of people's minds. I'm gonna go ahead and ask it. Now, when you say you approach somebody, knocking on the door, they answer, they're like, "Oh yeah, actually, I am interested in some house." How much should someone expect to pay? Do you let them give you an offer first, and then you
Um,
counter?
I always get them to give me the price first. I never say a price first. Never, never, never. Because I don't want to offer more money than what they be asking for. And then I see if there's a loan on the property. So, for example, let's go say I go to this property and the guy wants $180,000 for his property, but he has a mortgage on it for 160. So he says, like, well, I'm trying to make some money out of the deal, right? I'm like, if I know I own the bank 180, but I mean 160, but probably it's worth it. You know, and you look at your numbers like, oh, it's probably about 180. So
Mhm.
you can just be like, look, how about I buy your property? I give you 2-3K for you to move out. I buy your property. If I know what he's paying on the mortgage is less than what I can rent it out for, hey, I can just take over the payments. I can just give them a couple of $1,000 for them to move out. I can buy the property from them and rent it out for a higher value. Why not? You know. So it's all about strategies. You try to find ways that you can find a deal to make it work for you.
Yeah.
Whatever
Another
makes
good,
numbers. Go ahead.
yeah, that's great. And I know another question people say is, okay, what if I have bad credit and I can't get money? Like a bank won't lend to me. Is that a showstopper? I just can't get into real estate till my credit is good?
Well, no, like I said, I bought my first property that I bought. I bought it for $5,000.
Five
The
thousand
property
dollars.
5,000, and I know I could have got it without no money down, honestly. But you know, I feel kind of guilty buying the property without giving them no money because they were so desperate to get rid of the property. The property was having some plumbing issues in the kitchen, so they couldn't afford to repair it, and they had no kitchen. They haven't had a kitchen for almost 6 months, and they were just over it. They were just like, oh, they don't want to deal with it, and they just want to walk away from it. So I offered her $5,000, and then I realized after I purchased the property that the plumbing was actually something wrong with the house. So I called the insurance company, and the insurance company sent me a check for 20K, and I used
Wow.
that check to fix the kitchen, to get the plumber to fix, you know, I had to find a contractor that gave me a great deal to fix the plumbing in the kitchen. I renovated the kitchen, put new floors in the whole house. And then I did a lot of the work myself because I was trying to save the money. So I painted the
Yeah.
walls, sanded down the walls down. The only thing I hired for people for was for the to install the carpets upstairs and fix my plumbing. But everything else I did it. And
So
now
the
the
insurance,
property,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but the insurance company cut you a check for 20K.
yeah,
Okay, can you run that by me one more time, just in case anybody missed that? You offered 5K, right? This is the 5K
yeah,
home. So you bought a
that's
house for
correct.
$5,000, and the house, was it transferred to you at this point?
The house, yeah, I have the house deed to me the
And
same day.
then, okay, so at one point, how did you know to contact the insurance company for
When
them
I
to cut
had
you?
it, when I had contractors to come and look at the property, they were telling me that was the plumbing, something was wrong with the plumbing, was a housing plumbing issue. It
Yeah.
wasn't something that we did, it was something that the house did. So that's when I knew I can call the insurance company. I called the insurance company and they came down and appraised it and they gave me the money for the counters that were damaged for the water damage.
Wow.
And then they gave me the money for the repairs for the plumbing. So I took that money and I negotiated and I made negotiations and deals with flooring companies. I got the flooring for real, super, super, super cheap. Because he was trying to build a relationship with me. So I was telling him like, you know, I started my business,
Yeah.
flipping properties. So I was telling everybody, okay, I'm flipping properties. So a lot of the companies were trying to build a relationship with me. So they were giving me a lot of discounts that I wouldn't give a regular client. So I got the floorings and I got a lot of the stuff for very
Yeah.
low prices. And I fixed the property. They came to appraise the property and appraised the property for 225. So after I fixed the property, I cashed out almost 60K on the property.
Wow.
And I had a renter in there. My mortgage is $900 a month, but I'm renting it out for 17. So I'm pocketing also $800 a month. And that
So
was my
you got
first
an
property.
off-market home for 5K and you end up cashing out for 60K.
Yeah.
And see, I think that
And I
the
still
the
have it.
and I think a lot of investors right now, and I think the people watching, a lot of times we think of the traditional way of buying homes. Like I need a 10,000 down or 20,000 down at minimum, just to get in the door. And we're thinking it's so expensive, I can't get into real estate. But you literally just said $5,000. Like I can actually go to I got my credit, my debit card right now. I can go swipe that. $5,000 you took over. Then you got $20,000 to fix what was wrong from the insurance company. So you didn't have to pay for that. And then you were
And
able to get it
then
all fixed up.
and then she gave me a referral to somebody else. So her friend, I bought her the house, her friend's house. It's a better house that the one that I bought. It needed less work, so I bought that house for 10K.
Wow.
And it's a
10K.
4 bedroom, yeah, 4 bedroom, 2 baths, and a huge
Wow.
lot backyard. So I bought that one, and now I should be done renovating next month. But yeah, she gave me the referral.
So these are just people who just no longer want their homes. They can't take care of it. They can't sell
If
it.
they can't make the payments,
Can't make
they
the
can't make the
payments.
payments, or they want to buy a bigger house, but they couldn't sell it on the market, with the realtor, or needed some major repairs, and they can't afford the repairs, so I just took over them.
Wow. And I think that's a lot of that's a lot of times I think that we overlook as investors. Like, sometimes we're thinking brand spanking new homes or homes that are good, but these homes, they need some type of repair. The homeowner can't afford to repair it. They want to get out of that situation and they'll take anything. Like, hey, if you take over my debt, give me a little bit of money to move out. It's yours. It's your
Yep,
problem now, right?
that's
Um,
correct.
and I remember when I like years ago when I went through a foreclosure, beautiful home, but my situation it kept me from selling it because I was going through a divorce, and at the time, my ex partner, everything like we were just kind of we couldn't agree, and I was like, if I could just sell this home and get rid of this headache, I would have took anything. I would have took whatever we owed. I'd have been like, take it, it's yours. But at the time, I didn't have anyone contact me to offer me anything to take over my debt. They could have gave me $1 and said, "Look, I will assume your loan. I will take over your debt." And I would have been like, "Thank you," because every
I wish I would
month,
have known you then.
I know. Oh, beautiful home in Texas. Let me tell you, 3,800 square feet. 3,800 square
Wow.
feet, beautiful home, 6 bedrooms. First home, too big for my britches. I shouldn't have even gotten to that, but like everything in Texas is bigger, right? So it was a huge home, but it got foreclosed on. We ended up losing that home at that time, which was horrible. But I'm saying that story to let people know that you never know what somebody's going through, and as to why they can't get out of situation. And sometimes it's a death, sometimes it's divorce, sometimes it's just like, what, I
A
inherited a
death in
home,
the
I don't even
family.
want it.
It can be a death in
Yeah,
the family, and they just can't.
yeah,
They live in
all that
out of
stuff.
state. Yeah.
So
Higher renters.
yeah.
Some people like are renting the properties. Like I'm looking at properties now. I'm talking to this seller, and I'm negotiating a deal with him, and he has rented since the property. They've been there since uh 19. I think he was saying 1990. They've been living on the same house, paying $500 a month. He has never increased the rent for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath unit,
Hmm.
right? And I'm like, and it's a great area. And you look at the area rentals, it's about 19, 15, $1,800 in the area. And that's what the problem is. Like a lot of renters, owners, they want to be friends of the renters, but they're not looking like, hey, I'm not gaining no money, but because they don't want to increase the rent, they're scared to tell them like, hey, it's going to be more money or lose the renters, thinking that they can't get nobody else in there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
it's just you gotta make sure when you become a owner of a property that you are the owner of the property and you're there to make money and not give the property for free for a renter or become a renter's friend. You're there for a business, so just always have the
yeah.
mentality.
Got it. Yeah, that makes total sense. um Here's one thing I want to throw at you, okay? Because I know a lot of people that I deal with on a day to day, because we deal with tax surplus and tax overages, whatever. um a lot of times they don't want to manage the home. Like it piques their interest to invest in property, because I think we all know the value of it, and like the return on investment is way better than I think getting into stocks and getting into all this other craziness that's a gamble.
Oh
When we're
yeah.
talking about property, we all know that property is probably it is probably the best investment you can do. So how does someone get into real estate investing without having to have the burden of managing and dealing with renters and all this other stuff? Like, what would you say to those kind of people? Because I know you have people that
So
you work with, right? That don't
yes,
necessarily have to own and operate the home.
that's correct. So, for example, I have some lenders that they give me the cash to purchase the property. So they give me the down payment for the properties to purchase the properties. And then after the rehab of the property, I send them pictures during the process. I'm like, hey, this is where we at. This is the renovations. This is how it's looking. we about to be done in about 2 weeks. You know, I give them updates on the properties. And then once the property is done, renovated, I either sell them or I flip the property and then I give them their money back that they invested. Plus, I give them their percentage agreement that we agreed on, which is sometimes 18, 20, depends on the property percent. And then I give them their money back. And then they continue to invest on my other properties because they're like, man, this is easy money. I'm just giving you the money and I'm getting my money back plus extra. And what they're getting paid, it's a lot higher than they're doing in stocks. So, you know, like not too long ago, the stocks dropped and everybody lost a lot of money on stocks. Where with this property, hey, everybody always needs a place to live, so you always get your money back. And like I said, when I do my renovations, before I purchase a property, I always do my homework to make sure that the way that I do my deals, I'm able to make money from the deal and not lose money. So, you know, I always negotiated to make sure that I can give my investors their money back so they can become the bankers. Like I said, instead of you dealing with the investors and trying to find a contractor and trying to find a lender and trying to find a property, the only thing you're doing is giving the cash. You have a contract in place and you get your money back with the interest.
Wow. Do you have any tips for anybody that's trying to get funding to do something like that? Say they want to, like, you know what, I just want to be the bank. I just want to give you some cash. I want to see that return on investment. You know, where does someone even start to look for funding if they're like, hey, I just need the money to give, you know, towards a property?
If you want to get the money, I mean, you just got to advertise like, hey, I have these properties. I'm looking for an investor or partner, somebody.
Well, I mean, where would you recommend like someone getting funding? Like, because I know a good company is called like Funding Grow, right?
Oh, Funding Grow.
Yep, Funding Grow is good. Yep. Is there like any other resources out there? I'm a big advocate for Funding Grow just because I got students who like in my program and they'll come in. Funding Grow usually charges, I think, like around like $3,000. And then what they do is they get you like anywhere between 40 and 90K in 30 days. And that's like $90,000 to do what you want. You can invest in property. You can build your business. They do all the legwork all throughout the year. So you got 4 quarters in a year, and each quarter they just get you more funding. And I think that their goal is to get you up to $250,000. Yeah. So that's a lot of money to invest and grow just throughout the year. Can you imagine how many times you just kind of
you can, because during that time, if you have about 60K, you can invest in about 4 or 5 properties, putting down payment on those properties, and imagine getting 20% off every down payment that you're using. You know, as a banker, get the money back at the end, and you just almost double everything. You know, you can get half of what you invested in already on return. So it's being a banker is a great way to just make sure there's always a contract in place.
Yes. So I know your course is about to drop. So I know that one is like hot off the presses. Yes. So we got your course is coming up, and you're going to teach people basically all the building blocks on starting from nothing to being a boss in the real estate world, right? Like
without even using your money of your own, how to find these deals, buying $1,000, $2,000 properties, how to negotiate it, how to get the contracts in place, how to do the scripts. I'm going to talk to you about giving you formulas to see if it's a good property to purchase, or if it's going to be a property that you want to walk away from. So I'm going to teach you everything from A to Z, and any questions that you have, I'll always be available to answer all your questions.
Awesome. I love it. I think this is such a great compliment to people who are doing surplus funds and unclaimed property, and also adding this extra leg of income, whether if you are hunting for property for yourself or you're just looking to be an investor and make that ROI, in your first year of business. I think this is like the best way to do it and to grow and expand your portfolio. So I want to give everybody a quick call to action. I want to tell you guys, if you're that person and you're ready to make multiple streams of income, or maybe the real estate investing is that leg of income you're looking to do, I want you guys to do in the comments, put I'm in. And I think what I'm going to do for you guys, if you're in and you want to learn more and learn about how to find if a property is a good investment, Elizabeth and I, we're going to put together a masterclass. You're going to get a special invite, And then we're going to talk about properties that are currently available. So if you guys are looking, you're like, oh man, I want to get in now. We're going to get you all set up. Okay. So if you watch this video,
right now I have a lot of properties. Like I said, like I have a lot of buyers sellers right now that have been sending me properties, and because my funds can only go so much because of the properties that I have that I'm renovating. So like I said, if you want to become a banker, I can definitely have the properties for you.
Nice.
I can get you a return of your investment. I have my I have my contractors already lined up. So hey, let me know if you want to invest, because I got you.
There we go. There you go. You guys heard it. Elizabeth, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. You're awesome. You're amazing. And I know a ton of people are going to be interested in learning more and coming to one of your free master classes. And then for the other people who are a little bit more seasoned and they're ready to go, I'll definitely put them in contact with you. But yeah, this is one of my favorite subjects to talk about, because I truly believe real estate helps build legacies, and it gets people that generational wealth that we're always hearing about. But you can't build generational wealth. I don't think you build on the back of stocks. I don't think you can build on the back of working part-time jobs. It's time to start thinking about investing in property and actually making it work for you, not against you.
That's correct.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Well, that's our time. We're going to sign off. Thank you guys, as always, every single week. Elizabeth, it's been fun. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.